Okay, greetings everyone and welcome to another video. Today I am up here in an area which I was at probably about a year ago or so. I'm up here above Nesquehoning and Jim Thorpe. I'm in an area called, or above Weatherly actually, is where I'm right above. And if you remember from one of my previous videos, and that link will be up there in the corner of the screen, I was up here to film a urban legend called the Cursed Stone Couch. But while I was up here filming that, I actually should have drove down the road a little bit more to this place that's behind me. If you can see the sign there, I am at Eckley Miners Village, and this little village up here was featured in a 1969 movie, The Molly Maguires, which if I can find clips, I will insert them in this video here and show you some clips from the movie versus what's here today and everything. So I don't know anything about this place, but of course
I do.
I got a tour guide with me. So
and I have the movie.
And he saw the movie and has it, so he's going to be my tour guide here today. And we're going to drive around and walk around the village here and show you how this village was restored for the movie, and then it was turned into a National Historic Site. So let's get this little tour started. All right, so this road that's out here is Eckley Road, which is off of Buck Mountain Road, I believe. But this is the entrance to the little village here, and there are people living in this village today and everything. And they have a visitor center here, but it is only open later in the week. It is closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so we are not going to be able to go into that. But here is one of the historical signs. Founded in 1854 as Fillmore, it was renamed for noted mining engineer Eckley Cox. I believe that's how you say the last name. So it was built to house coal miners and their families. And it just goes on to tell you there about the decline. And the site was restored for the 1970 film, The Molly Maguires. Subsequently was converted to a state historical site operated by the Pennsylvania Historic Museum Commission. So the movie was actually made, it was filmed in 1969, but it was released in 1970. So all these buildings that are here that you are going to see are or were restored for the movie. All right, so this contraption that we have here was actually used in the mines, and this is a mine motor is what RJ is telling me. It was electric powered, and basically this is what they used to pull the coal. They had the cars would be hooked up to it on the back here, and this is what they would use to pull the coal out of the mines on the coal cars.
It was multi-purpose too. They used it for taking crew in and out and other different things.
Yeah, you used it for the crew and everything, but it was all electric. You can see the electric motors in here.
If you want, I can send you
and then you can see the back here where they actually sat. That would be a parking brake there, and then this would be the controls over here.
Yes, the way these worked is this is your forward and reverse selector right here, and then it also, I believe it has a park mode, I believe. But this would engage, you choose forward or reverse, and then swing this to your different settings to send your speed from your electric motors to your wheels to roll it in on the track. And then obviously, like I said, this isn't a steering wheel. This is the parking brake. So you can see how it threads into this,
yep,
and then out to those, and then extend your brake shoes against the wheels to.
Which the brake shoes are metal.
Yeah, hold the well, there's probably what you call it. The stuff came off of them over the years because this one's not in the best shape, but. I can send you a picture to use to put in if you wanted the one from the number 9 mine tour that we operated. That's why I know how to do this, because I got to operate one at the number 9 mine tour in Lansford, PA. So,
which I want to get to at some time and take a tour of that mine.
That's kind of how I learned the history of how these work and what they were used for. So.
And you can see the rails at the bottom there. That is a narrow gauge rail.
But yeah, it looks to be your standard width though gauge of. It's pretty wide.
4 feet 8.5 inches is the standard gauge of a regular railroad.
Well, there's 4 feet.
So it could be as wide as a regular railroad, but the rails themselves are,
yeah, they're smaller.
They're smaller. And in my video from when we were up at the Reading Railroad Heritage Museum up in Hamburg, I actually had a thing in there, and it's in the video. As you can tell, the style of rail per weight per 3 feet, how much weight it can withstand. So here is the visitor center, but they have information boards around here which aren't in the best of conditions anymore, the covering on them. But this is exploring the corridor up here and some of the collieries that were up here. Don't know if any of them are standing anymore, because I know they did demolish some of them. But I think this might be, I don't know if that's one of the, I don't think that's one of the mansions down in Jim Thorpe, but this is all from like the Delaware River all the way up through Yardley, because you got the Delaware Canal that comes up through there all the way up to Ricketts Glen. So there's a whole corridor in here of places that you can explore. And then here is the board with the information of the village itself. And then this is just information on the forests, the landscape formation, and basically how coal is made over the course of time. And they also have the rules here at the facility, like any place like this, whether it's a state park or any place that you visit, always abide by the rules. So here is one of the first houses, which is also the gift shop, I believe. And of course, again, nothing is open, but looking down here, this is Main Street. Looking down through the town, I guess you could say it's Main Street. I'm not sure what they call it in the movie, but I'll do the best I can here doing this, and with RJ's help, because I haven't seen the movie yet. And then also at the entrance here, they have a huge piece of anthracite coal. Not quite as big as the one that's down in Jim Thorpe. I think the one down in Jim Thorpe might be bigger. Not as tall, but I think it's longer. But definitely an impressive piece of coal. And even walking around here, just happened to look down here at the fence post, and yeah, there's a piece of coal laying right there too. So it won't be uncommon that we see a lot of coal laying around here, because there is an active, I don't know if it's a mine or a quarry or something, but we can hear it across the street there. All along here on the ground, you can see small pieces of coal. All right, so we're going to start driving down through the town here. One thing to point out, some of the stuff that you're going to see in the town here is original, and some of it was made for the movie, but they left it here for the village after they were done shooting the movie and everything. So RJ knows which is original and which was built for the movie. All right, so we are driving down the main road in town here. and I can actually do this while driving at the same time, since we are not going to be driving that fast through here, but this will be easier than walking this whole thing. But this will give you the idea of the houses and how they were restored for the movie, because obviously they wouldn't be in.
Some of them are, well, these aren't really restored. Well,
they were restored for the movie.
They were restored. Ones that they used, yeah, but as we drive through, you'll see some of them are in worse condition than some of, but that's the preservation
right
of now, current day, that they're restoring them back to. Like, these are all restored, but as we get further down, you'll see some of them are in worse condition. Plus, they have outhouses behind them. You can tell which ones are lived in because there's one with a car behind it.
Yep. So some of these, like we said, some of these houses are occupied by the people that live here yet, and some of them do have information boards outside of them. Because that one right here is the laborers double dwelling.
And you'll have your outhouses, little. I was just reading in the webs. Yeah, see, that one's lived in.
Yep.
Yeah, the ones that are lived in have mailboxes.
Yeah.
Here's a foundation for one. Here's one that didn't survive. So there was one right there. So I think there's a couple. There's another one there. There's a foundation.
Oh yeah, we're coming up on one on the left there.
There's a little goat shack. So I guess we could go back. I've never gone back into there before because I see a placard there too. We hit that on the way back out.
Yeah, we'll hit that on.
Showing you could go that route to the breaker.
But all the houses are numbered too.
Yeah. This one's been restored, obviously.
Here's coming up on one here that was, I guess, semi-restored.
In the works.
This one over here was.
Now, which one was actually used in the movie? That I don't know. Or which ones were used in the movies? That I don't know. Looks like someone lives in that one because they might be hiding their car in that garage. There's somebody there.
Might have been some down along here.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. Oh yeah, there's one coming up down here that doesn't look.
There's a fence back there.
Too good anymore.
Oh, this would have. I think this was like the little bar area, I guess you would call it. Obviously, it's lived in there. Or no, that was right here where this plaque is.
Yeah, there's one that's not.
Yeah, that one's
that's
in shape.
dire repair.
This one's definitely lived in. So you can tell just by looking at them. They have like gardens and things like that. Obviously, they upkeep with the grass. They keep the grass mowed, and this one's in
yeah, some of these
shape, but still structurally sound and standing.
which I'm sure they'll get restored at some point.
This one, yeah, these two are. Okay, so this would be the company store that was built by the movie.
Okay, so that. Oh,
There's the breaker.
There we go. There's the breaker. Well, that's seen better days.
Probably just pull in here and park, and we can get out
Yeah,
and walk
we'll
around this
get
section.
out here and we'll walk around and walk up to the breaker, and then you can see the store here that was built for the movie. All right, so we actually parked in a little parking area there, but there's some better shots of looking down, which would have been a road in the movie, the main road through the village, not a street. They didn't call them streets back then. But over there, we're going to walk up to it and walk around that building and check out the company store that was built for the movie. All right, so RJ was telling me, and we just got one of the caretakers here for the village stopped and gave us a brochure, but these railroad tracks that are here, these are not original. These were put in for the movie, and at some point, if I can find the clips in the movie, you're going to see those cars up there coming down and going across here. All right, so we'll walk up and take a little walk around the company store. You can't see in the windows or anything, obviously, but we'll walk around the back here. I think RJ's walking around there now, but he was saying that there's another scene in the movie where they, I guess, broke into this store and was throwing stuff out here. So this might be, for those of you that saw the movie, this might be a familiar scene for you. I'm not sure what the camera angle is here, but at some point they robbed the store here, I guess, during the movie. You know, they do have, but I highly doubt anything's going to come out on the video there of the inside. But now I can say one thing for sure. I can safely say I was on a movie set now. Even though it's not a movie set from Hollywood, but I can say I was on a movie set. And I guess, yes, they do have public restrooms there as well. But here is one of the old outhouses.
That was a movie prop too.
This is a movie prop too, the restrooms.
That was a mule barn.
A mule barn.
So I'm assuming, if I remember correctly,
Okay, so this was not restrooms at one time, it was a mule barn. I'm guessing this outhouse is a prop too.
that's not, I looked through it, it might be a prop because there's nothing in there.
Okay.
You can peek through the boards and see that there's nothing in there.
So I'm walking down in the back here, and there is more old cars here, which were probably used in the movie. This one looks like it was banged up a little bit. They got some more here, which Mother Nature is reclaiming. At least I'm guessing these were used in the movie. And looking at some of these cars here, here's another one that was banged up, so pretty sure, or I should say most likely, these were used in the movie. And here's where the railroad would have came back, and almost looks like it would have continued on here. Looks like there might have been a bed here, maybe. Yes, it does continue on because I can see the tracks right there. So how far this went, we don't know, but there are still tracks back in there yet. And there's a railroad tie right here in front of me. But yeah, there's some rails laying there, most likely the rails that went across the road out here. All right, so looking here where the rails ended and go across would have gone across the road there, but here is more coal around this pine tree that was planted here. But RJ had just found it and sent me the link. There's videos on YouTube of old home movies from up here in 1969 when they were filming up here. So at some... All right, so here is another information board. This is just telling you about the early settlers here and everything. This has nothing to do with the plot to the movie. And then this is just talking about the breaker and child labor that was used. And again, hopefully it shows up that you can pause the video there and read that if you want to. But back here is the coal breaker, which we will walk up and get as close to as we can. And of course, I don't see any signs here saying it, but I have a feeling it will be frowned upon flying the drone here, so I am not going to fly it. But obviously we can't go into the breaker there because it is a movie prop. It is just all wood, and it is, as you can see, has seen better days. It is falling apart. All right, this is going to be as close as we can get to the breaker. And you look right there, you can see some of the tracks that they put in there for it. But it is falling apart, and most likely within some years, this whole thing's gonna probably fall down. Maybe. Some of it might be standing yet, but it's definitely seen better days. But this is just a movie prop, and all it is just plywood and basically boards. Here's another area of the breaker where the cars would have rolled down. I think there's a scene in the movie that you actually see them rolling the cars down from there, down along these tracks. But nature has definitely reclaimed the area. Alright, so we're driving down the road now towards the end, towards where what's at the end there?
The boss's mansion.
Boss's
house.
The boss's house.
Which, now that we have our little cheat sheet, give me a second here.
Like we need seat belts for this, but otherwise the alarm will keep beeping. And ooh, there's a house that definitely needs to be restored.
Yeah. This one's a single family home right here. 15, is that actually on here? 15 single family dwelling circa 1854.
Oh geez.
These large single houses were inhabited by mine bosses, colliery superintendents, and foremen, not open to the public. Here's a foundation.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if that's on here. Foundations of Eckley Hotel, 18. It's further down.
Okay, so we cannot go in here because there is a sign there. No admittance, but there's the other church. And this is a residence right here, 96.
Yeah, like I said, generally if there's a mailbox in front of it, somebody lives there. Alright, so this, number 17, is the St. James Protestant Episcopal Church from 1859. Mine operators Richard Sharp and Francis Weiss were leaders in the formation of the Episcopal Church in Eckley. The congregation declined in the 20th century, and in 1938 the structure was removed. Nearly identical St. Paul's Protestant Episcopal Church of Whitehaven was moved to this site in 1974, open to the public with a guide.
And there's the stone on the corner of the church there. St. James, 1859.
But this isn't the original one.
Nope.
So this was actually moved here, so that's interesting to know.
So that one's not occupied. This one here is the residents coming. We got 2 residents coming up.
Yeah, you see how their cars are parked?
Yeah, they park them out back. They hide them.
Well,
Except for the Harley.
Hide them.
Except for the Harley Davidson flag in the front of this place.
Yeah.
All right, so what are these buildings here to the right?
We got some foundations down here too to watch for. So.
Oh yeah, there's one coming up right here on the left.
23, which is the first one on the right here, is feed barn, reconstructed, not open to the public. And the other one is a mule barn, reconstructed, not open to the public.
Oh, that makes sense because that looks.
Barn,
Yep.
This is the feed barn.
That makes sense. Look at the style of the doors on it. All right, foundation is, this is number 18 over here.
Foundation number 18 is going to be Foundations of Eckley Hotel, circa 1857. This hotel contained the only bar room in the village, the site of celebrations, oyster suppers, and St. Patrick's Day banquets. It burned in the mid-1920s.
The local watering hole.
Yes.
Building 19.
Building 19 is the doctor's office, circa 1855. Eckley's first company doctor, George S. Wentz, treated mining accident victims and villagers too ill to be treated by home remedies. In later years, he was replaced by a resident nurse, open to the public with a guide. And number 20 should be coming up here.
Right there.
That is the site of the company's store, circa 1855. The store sold mining supplies to the colliery workers and food, clothing, and household goods to their families. After 1857, it was also included the village post office. While supplying the needs of an isolated community, store issued credit contributed to miners' indebtedness to the coal company. By the early 20th century, the store was privately operated.
Yep, it should be.
That is the mine owner's house, 1861. The mine owners lived in the largest and most fashionable houses located away from miners' cottages and colliery buildings. Richard Sharp's Gothic Revival style house was the last constructed, open to public during special events. Actually, is that numbered? That's not it.
No,
this is the over here.
This has a bell on it. This is like, I want to say, a schoolhouse.
That?
I'll pull over up here. We'll get out. And,
that's not even on here. Huh.
Yeah, there's a bell on the back there, which makes me wonder if that was some form of.
But it's not on here. That is 21 right there.
All right, so we'll stop here and we'll get out and walk around the owner's house.
So yeah, this is the owner's house. What I just read you.
Okay. All right, so here is an information board, just talking about the land use consequences once they were timbered out and coal and everything, and then talks about the old railroad beds that are converted into rails to trails now for hiking and biking. But this place is modernized now. This is a manhole cover here for a transformer for electric. There's obviously no overhead lines coming in here for, preservation purposes. You don't want to see overhead wires going into the, the residences, and there's also, you can see the sewer lines, but they're well hidden as well. But this looks like there might have been something here at some point, but it's not on the map that we have or anything. And obviously that outhouse in the back there was restored, but this building here, we're just trying to take a guess. I'm going to walk over and try and peek in the window, see if there's anything there and take a guess. But with the bell on top would remind me of either a church or a schoolhouse, maybe both.
I think I do remember seeing.
All right, we took a peek inside the windows, and the inside does not resemble anything like an open room schoolhouse or anything like that. There's different rooms in there, so we're not quite sure what this building would have been used for, but it's weird just seeing a bell on top of the house like that. We don't know what this was. There's another shot of the mule stable and the barn next to it. So this, I believe, is going to be the last stop here, because you already heard RJ give the information on this house, but we're just going to walk around here and take a look at the house up close, see some of the neat features with it. And you can tell this house was modernized too, because there is sewer and gas in it, and it looks like it has a gas heater in it, because those pipes coming out there would be the exhaust and intake for a gas heater.
This door has hardware. That door has hardware. Okay, this is the other side of that. So there's that.
All right, what is
this, number 10?
Number 10.
Number 10. Larger than the laborers' dwellings, these houses were occupied by first-class or contract miners. The red and black exterior was typical of miners' housing in the region. Each family had 4 rooms, 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs, and a summer kitchen to make the home more seasonably comfortable. The house is interpreted to the 1880s to 1890s, open to the public with a guide. This one, I think, there is a scene where Sean Connery and his wife, because the walkway, the planking,
yeah,
looks familiar. The fencing looks familiar, because there was a scene where she was in the garden working and he comes walking up the plankway to the back to wash up from the coal mine, to where she comes out of the garden and helps him wash up out back before he goes in the house.
Okay.
So this may have been that, building used in that scene. This
number 9
was Eckley Social and Sports Club, which was built in 1946. In 1946, the Cox brothers permitted the village residents to construct a clubhouse, and in 1947, the Eckley Social and Sports Club was chartered. The club was not permitted to sell spirituous or vinous intoxicating liquor. The club still maintains the building. Paramount Studios used the building for shots of the fictional Emerald House during the filming of the Molly Maguires, not open to the public. So yeah, you'll see this in the movie too.
But it's now a residence because there's a mailbox out front.
Yes.
So just walking up here, they have a headstone here in memory of the men and women who served our country, and it's the Eckley Social and Sports Club. It was dedicated November 7th, 1971. All right, so this area here, and again, can't see the foundation or anything, but this is the slate picker's house. And there's the information about it. But the only thing that is there is the picket fence. So there's no structure there, and with everything green, not going to be able to see anything. And it looks like up there further is another fence. There's probably another residence there or house or something, but There really isn't anything else on the map back this far, so we're not gonna...
Actually, there is something to this corner.
There is?
Yeah. Is there another house back here? A double one?
Probably back there where that other fence is.
It's showing a picture.
All right, so we did walk back here a little bit, and this is number 7, so RJ's gonna read it again.
Vanna is on the case. Okay, so this is considered Back or South Street Cottage, circa 1854. This double house is the only original one of its type remaining on the street that once had 32 similar dwellings. Smaller than the laborers' houses on Main Street, it only had 3 rooms per family. The buildings nearby are reconstructions. This is open to the public during special events.
So that is an original.
That's the only original. So all the rest of it,
Yep.
that one's a reconstruction.
Yeah, that's reconstruction. The one behind it's reconstruction, and that's a residence back there. So that is the only original of that kind. All right, so walking along Back Street or South Street, whatever, forget the name again, but looking in the back there, there is a foundation back there that I found. Probably can't see it that good with everything grown here, but probably in the winter time it'll probably find more foundations back along here as well.
So I'm going to try to replicate this scene as best I can. Looking at the front of the church here, looking at the gate right there, there's a scene where the preacher is standing at the gate and the congregation is coming out. The workers are coming out through that gate where Sean Connery's character stops. They have a little conversation and then they turn around and you see everybody just walking back to their homes in this direction. Everyone is walking in their doors. It's a big group of people continuing on to their homes.
It takes a brave man.
It takes a fool.
So this is
Well, there's no use talking further. Man's been murdered. He brought it on himself. He who lives by the sword shall perish by the sword. But his wife's dead too, and the child's been orphaned. Violence begets violence until the innocent perish with the guilty. Is there any use my reminding you of that? Am I wasting my breath again?
All right, so that is going to wrap it up for this video here at the Eckley Miners Village. My thanks to RJ for coming along on this one, but this one here is going to be a return trip for us. In the winter time or early spring when everything is dead, we're probably going to come back up here and walk around some more and find some things that we probably missed today, but we can't see due to, you know, everything being green, leaves on the trees and undergrowth and whatnot. So, and of course, as always, the link to RJ's channel will be down in the description field, so be sure to go check his footage out up here. He might have gotten something that I've missed along the way here and everything. So if you did like the video, please give it the thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button down there if you're new to the channel. Thanks to all the new subscribers that subscribed to the channel recently and started following me on all the social media platforms. And also, if you want to be notified when I upload new content to YouTube, you can ring the bell down there in the corner of your screen. So until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.